Hello everybody, Mckenzie Haglund here. My channel is all about you getting out there and living your most amazing life. This month, of course, I've been talking about courage, and courage really is about acting in the direction of your dreams despite feeling fear. We all experience fear in our lives, but courage is about feeling that fear, knowing you have it, and acting anyway. Today specifically, I want to talk about what is fear, because I'm not sure we all really understand it, but we all feel it. So let's talk a little bit about what fear is. Fear is really perceived danger. So maybe it's a person or a situation we believe is going to harm us or cause death. And there's different kinds of harm. There's emotional harm and there's physical harm. Like the fear of public speaking generally is about emotional harm. Like we're afraid of what people will think about us, what they're going to say about us, what might happen when we're up there. It's rarely about a fear of actually being injured physically. And so it's really about the future. It's about something that might happen to us. And when we feel fear, we actually have a physiological response in our bodies. So we tend to release certain chemicals, our heart rate speeds up, and this prepares us to fight, to flee, or to hide, which is the general reaction to feeling fear. Fear is all about something that might happen to us in the future. It isn't something that will probably happen. It's just something that we think is going to happen. How many of us spend a lot of our lifetime in this space where we are afraid of fear, or we're afraid of something that might happen, and so we limit ourselves in our life? And that's what fear creates for us. Fear sets up walls and boundaries in our lives. It keeps us from doing certain things, disconnects us from living in the moment and really being able to experience what's going on right now. Because if we're afraid of what's going to happen in the future, we can't really focus on what's going on in our lives right now. And the last thing, it really stops us from living, because instead of being in our life, we are focused on something that may happen. Unlikely to happen, but it may happen. So if you've ever heard the FDR's, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's inauguration speech, I believe it was in 1933, where he says the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And there's a lot of truth in what he's saying there, because he's saying that there really is nothing to fear in life except for feeling fear, because fear really keeps us stagnant and keeps us stuck where we're at. So it's important to be able to overcome those fears in our lives. So what are some of the fears that maybe we experience in our lives? I know me, I've been dating, and so like being able to overcome some of the things that have happened to me in the past and not bring it into a current situation, a current dating situation, because there can be a lot of fear there. I mean, what happens if I get left again, or another guy turns me down? There can be a lot of fear there, but it's all about something that might happen. It isn't about something that's actually happening right now. So dating or relationships can bring up a lot of fear for us. Other things are maybe like a diagnosis, a health diagnosis. For a lot of people, it's spiders and snakes. Those things cause fear. Mice. I know my mother is afraid of mice. That's an interesting fear to me. A lot of people are afraid of dogs. While I was doing the research for this, I found out that a lot of people are afraid of holes. That's kind of an interesting one that I didn't know about. And then fear of flying is one of the top fears that people experience, and that was one that I struggled with for a long time. I couldn't get on an airplane for several years, and then when I did start flying, I was using a prescription drug to help me get onto the airplane, to help lower my anxiety level. And today after a lot of work I've done, I have no fear of flying anymore. I can get on an airplane, no problem. And actually I get really excited because it means I'm going somewhere and things are happening in my life. So what is a way for you to begin to let go of fear? One thing that fear is, it is the thought of not having control in your life. I think that's a big part of fear. And like, for instance, for my fear of flying, it was that I didn't have control over the outcome. I didn't know what was going to happen. Even though I knew flying was safe, I had no control. And I always had to have a window seat because I had to be able to see that the plane was still flying straight and forward. Even though I had no control over what was going on, it gave me somewhat of a sense of control. Think about what your need for control is in a specific situation. And learn to live in the moment. Get present in the moment. Because if you're present in the moment, it's very difficult to feel fear. If you've ever been in a situation, have you ever been in a car accident or witnessed a car accident? Things that are really fearful happen so quick that we rarely have time to be afraid. I remember one time I was driving down a highway and the car in front of me just like out of the blue spun out of control and somehow managed to miss every other car on the busy highway and spun out of control and hit the guardrail. The thing is, afterwards, absolutely, my adrenaline was rushing and my heart rate was up. In that moment, my body had prepared me for the worst. And nothing happened, so it didn't really need to, but it happened so quickly, I didn't have time to actually experience fear. I just was in the moment, and it as it happened. Those are probably the times when fear is very real. But when we're thinking about like having to get up and give a speech in public, or we're afraid of flying, or there's thousands of fears. It's important to remember that we have really no control, and the idea of control is really a figment of our imaginations. We have very little control over the future, over what's about to happen to us. So getting over fear really is about being able to let go and be in the moment of your life and not really allow what might happen dictate what's going on with you in this moment, or to stop you from doing the things that you want to do in your life. I hope you'll check back in over the next few days. I want to talk about some strategies for overcoming your fears and some specific techniques to live your life more fully and in the moment without allowing fear and the need to control what you have going on in your life. Again, my name is Mckenzie. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor, click the like button down below. That's a huge help for me. Better yet, subscribe to my channel. I would love to walk this journey towards your most amazing life alongside of you. Thank you.